Hi, Flair family. It's
Candace
and Kim.
and we tried it, so you don't have to.
Have you heard of Toodle Notes?
Or kindness wreaths.
Well, we're here to explain the power of them and how simple they are to implement.
They really help build your classroom community and encourage kindness and gratitude.
Well, we do like both those things.
So a kindness wreath is just a basic wreath you can get at the dollar store and ribbon. And so what you do is you have your students take little pieces of ribbon every time they see something kind that someone has done towards them or they had done towards someone else. They take a piece of ribbon and they get to tie it on the wreath. And I always encourage them to tell me what it was that was done or to tell their friend what they did that was really kind. And so everybody's being recognized for what they've done, and it's just kind of encouraging these little acts of kindness.
All right. Well, Toodle Notes are a little bit of a twist on it. And I think those of you who may be familiar with them feel like it's more for elementary age students, but really not. You can create with Canva or anything else, create your own notes, and really put the students in charge of acknowledging the behaviors where I'm not in charge. I make the notes available, pens available, and every Friday we have a celebration. But specifically on the notes, it says to and from, and then what are you acknowledging? And so on the edge of the note, I have listed some targeted behaviors that I want my students acknowledging and looking for. Being kind, being helpful, sharing, following teacher instructions, being on task, being a good friend. That's the beauty of it. You get to pick the target behaviors, and then you put the students in charge of calling out their classmates, and then we share the notes on Friday.
Okay, that sounds easy. Guess I could try that.
When we read it and the student has earned a Toodle Note, I hand them a raffle ticket, and then on Fridays we raffle off some little toys or candy or things, talkies, items that I know the kids want. That could be pencils, sharpeners, a pencil pouch.
You won! You won the raffle!
But just a way to acknowledge and reinforce the positive behaviors. So I'm not the one having to do it all the time. And it really builds a sense of classroom community and responsibility towards each other. I've changed the notes to be not so cutesy. I've done themes like in January, instead of, cutesy, there's snowflakes. They write the name of the student on the snowflake, and then I have a Toodle wall where after we present the notes to the students, we post them up on the board. And so every month you can have a theme. February you can have hearts. So you can change it up, do it for elementary school or middle school. You'd be surprised at the middle schoolers who really do appreciate and want to collect the Toodle Notes up on the wall. And then at the end of the semester or the end of the year, we take them all down and they take them home to their families and share with their family what they were acknowledged for.
So 3 pros for this are, of course, you're building classroom community with your students. And what would another pro?
Another pro is you're really putting forth examples on appropriate behavior in the classroom. And really I'm going to say it's even part of SEL, where they're acknowledging and building relationships with each other by being very specific and watching other behaviors and documenting it. I think it really it's worth a little bit of time that it takes.
Right, and you get the visual in your classroom of all of these acts of kindness, so it might be a reminder to your students to really remember those little acts that they can take.
Okay,
So
3
what
cons.
are the 3 cons? I mean, to get it started and to be consistent, it does take some time. So, it's something that you kind of have to remind your class or your kids if they're filling something out. You need to use class time for that. So time is probably the biggest con in this?
You have to plan. You have to, make sure the students know your target behaviors. You need to make the supplies available, whatever you're using, snowflakes or hearts or clovers, depending on the month.
Yeah.
And so you have to plan ahead, make the tools available to the students, and then remind them you need to put it on, leave it out where the students have access to it, and then pick a day of the week. I like Fridays. Fridays for celebrations, and so every Friday that becomes part of our routine.
And then, of course, the unspoken con that we all know in the back of our minds is that sometimes when you give a kid a piece of paper to write a letter to another kid, it's not always going to be kind. So that would be a big con, but for that reason, we really need to really be sure that we're monitoring and that you're reading everything ahead of time and not just blindly passing the notes out to the kids.
Right. No, the notes have to be turned, you have to decide where do the notes get turned in. You're not having the students hand a note to another student. They need to give them to me. I have a specific Toodle box that they put them in, and then I read them before Friday.
So there you have it.
Keep it kind.
We
Keep
tried
it positive.
so you don't have to.
Sorry.
4 thumbs up.
Toodles.